Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Udo and this is Personal Development with Udo Victoria. I'm super excited to be, shooting this video again for you guys to learn exciting things about personal development. But this time around we're dealing with something very interesting, something super interesting, and that is habits. So today we're going to talk about habits that affect your personal development process or habits that affect your personal development plan. In our last class, we talked about, dealing with anxiety, and, the class before that or the video before that, we talked about PDP, and I'm certain a lot of you still remember what PDP is. But for today, we're not going to be talking about habits that affect your PDP, habits that do not let you reach the end goal of your PDP, which we said was, actualizing your dream, living your dream, and stuff like that. Today we're going to talk about those habits. And so if you're new to the family, please do well to subscribe, turn on your notification button, and await a lot of exciting information from me as we're going to explore every aspect of personal development so that, you get to learn, become a young professional that would have, influence around the world. The aim is global recognition in whatever sector of our lives that we are going through. This reminds me of this recent winning of Toby, the world champion in the female 100 meters hurdles race, and I'm so excited. There's one thing I've learned from her story, that persistence pays, consistency pays. It pays big time. Toby one time shared on I think it was on Twitter, that she would become a global voice one day, and that the world should just wait. And few days ago she did it. It just, she talked about her practice processes, the time she had to go and rehearse and, practice and put in her all to, be the best she can. And she has become motivation to a lot of people out there. She has shown, true virtue, and it's really amazing. Congratulations to her, by the way. But there's something you need to learn from everybody's success story, is that at some point it wasn't all rosy. It's not all rosy. There are certain things you have to do as a person to ensure that you get your success story. And you cannot achieve these things if you don't deal with certain habits that would, affect you in the long run. So today's video, we're going to be talking about habits that affect your PDP, basically. So what are these habits? I'm certain a lot of us know what habits are. I mean, we're talking about lifestyles, cultures you've cultivated over time that affect you as a person. It could be this new habit of drinking water once you wake up in the morning. It could be a habit of always hanging your clothes upside down, or should I say inside out rather. It could be a habit of always sweeping your house, 10 to 12 times a day or something like that. Or it could be a habit of always having coffee before you read. It could be a habit of chewing your nails. Chewing your nails is a habit. I don't know, they are just, you understand what I mean? There are a lot of lifestyles that people have programmed themselves over time, and it has become a part of them. But now there are some of these habits that work in the opposition to their goals. So now everybody loves a good night's sleep. So let's start with the very popular one. A lot of motivational speakers, or should I say successful people, have come out to tell you that you're not supposed to sleep 8 hours a day and, just relax and freelance and stuff like that. The truth is, it's true. It is. If you want to get to a certain level of success in your life, you can't be sleeping 8 hours a day. See, I'm not saying it because, I've gotten to this formula. I'll be telling you, I sleep 2 times a day or 2 hours a day. It's not true. What I'm saying is that opportunities have made me realize that some days I had to spend sleepless nights so that the things I'm trying to achieve can become reality. For instance, I'll share an experience with you. So 2 weeks ago, I engaged in a competition. Honorable Justice Innocent Umezilike is a renowned judge, honorable judge of Nigeria. His late may soul rest in perfect peace. But he has a foundation. A foundation was set up in his name, and this foundation organizes programs and lots of events and stuff like that. And so this time around, this year, they were organizing a live moot competition, a virtual live moot competition, and I was part of the team. There's a senior colleague of mine, Aneke Patrick, that I engaged in the competition with. There were nights I and Patrick were awake till 3 a.m. because we were working on our brief. There were times where we had meetings. There were times where we would start in the morning. I remember it was a day before the first round of our competition. We started talking from around like 8, 9 in the morning. We kept on going back and forth on our brief, on our document. We kept on revising. He would say, let me reach out to this person. I'll say, okay, let me reach out to this person. We kept on doing that till around 4 in the evening. And then, okay, we kind of took a break, offline and stuff to do other things. Came back around 9 and continued the talk and, looking at this thing till like 3 a.m. And at the end of the day, we won. But this process taught me that 24 hours a day is no longer enough. 24 hours a day is no longer enough. So if you want to utilize your 24 hours and make sure that you achieve the things that you want to achieve or become a successful person, you must learn to give up at least a few hours of your sleep to think. What do successful people do? What do innovators do? What do inventors do? What do people that come up with brilliant ideas do? There are nights where they just lay on their bed, face up to the ceiling, and they are thinking. You don't have to be on your phone, on your system every night and say, I'm working for the better good of the nation. No. A critical moment is you staying up to think and reevaluate the decision or a part of a plan or a part of a project that you're carrying out is all a part of this success story. But when you're like, my sleep is more important, and I don't have time for this, I cannot come and kill myself. My dear, you have to come and kill yourself. Because in as much as I'm not advising that you let work push you down into depression or you let work take the better part of your life, I preach balance. But at the same time, you have to make an effort to sacrifice times, for this project or for this program that you're doing. And that's the honest truth. Don't let anyone deceive you. So you could decide to create a timeline for yourself. Okay, I'll wake up 6 a.m. every morning. I'm going to go jogging. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that and stuff like that. Now, we've talked about sleeping and how cutting some hours of your sleep is very important when you want to develop yourself as a professional, to fulfill or to carry out tasks or projects that you're supposed to carry out in a particular role or bring your ideas to reality. The second habit is waking up early. Now, we've talked about sleeping. Now, waking up. Some people sleep till 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I saw a trend of, let's not go there. This Twitter trend where someone said if your girlfriend or fiance sleeps till 8, she's not wife material. It's been buzzing Twitter all week, but let's not go there. But basically, as a young professional, why would you be asleep by 8 a.m.? Why? As a working class lady or a working class man, why should you be asleep by 8 a.m.? I don't understand. Why? Except it's a weekend, or except you're sick, or except you have no work to do that morning. But you shouldn't be asleep by 8 a.m. basically. So some people wake up 10 a.m., 11 a.m., just move on with their day and stuff like that. In fact, it's virtually almost impossible for young professionals because your work people, you're going to have to be at the office. But now, what are those habits that help you have an active morning? You wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is drink a glass of water. A bottle of water, as my mom would say. Just gulp it down, enter the restroom, have your bath, brush your teeth, and get ready for work, start preparing for work. While you're doing that, let's not forget, you have your quiet time with God, you pray, you do a little bit of exercise, and 5 minutes, stretching and stuff like that. And your morning, you have a glass of tea, you have breakfast, you're good to go. Some people ignore their breakfast and become grumpy throughout the day. And because they are grumpy, their psychology doesn't let them achieve the things they need to achieve. It's not simple logic, but these little things we ignore form a part of our habits. And these habits do not let us achieve our PDPs. So you need to have a structured timetable. I usually have an idea of what I want to do. So I'll say, okay, I'll wake up by 6 a.m. I'll do little sit-ups if I want to. I'll drink a glass of water. Now that I'm not doing anything, but on strike, obviously, I usually don't have my bath that early. So what I do is I prepare my siblings for school, send them off to school, come back home, start working on an article, working on a project, whatever it is. I'm always very busy and I'm always online. So I'm working on an article, or I'm working on preparing for a competition, or I'm doing a research on one area, or I'm attending a mentorship program, or I'm doing one thing or the other, there's just always something for me to do. And by the time I'm done with those things, then I'll go have my bath, relax and sleep off or rest and wake up again, prepare food for my siblings, pick them up from school, come back. That's the routine at home. Now, for a young professional, you wake up, you go to work, you come back home, you just go straight to bed. No. These habits would affect your lifestyle, and it wouldn't let you be very proactive as you want to be. So now we talk about sleeping, we talk about waking up. What else? Your eating habits are very important. I know it sounds like, what does eating, sleeping, waking up have to do with me being a professional? Your lifestyle, your life circle affects your psychology, and once your psychology is affected, you find it very hard to process things or think clearly, and you become, either you slack at work or your bosses start complaining about your attitude towards work. So all these things are very, very important. You need to protect your psychology. You need to protect, the process of your lifestyle, basically. Now, another thing is saving. I've learned it the hard way that in this life, even if it means you need to squeeze out yourself and be eating one okpa every day or eating akara 100 naira every day, always have a savings account. It's very important to a young professional, because there are rainy days, very rainy days where it's raining, just rainy, right? There are storm days, the days where storm, hailstone, brimstone are raining down on you, and you will have no resource, because anytime alert enters on the 29th, you're clubbing with the guys, you're sending urgent 2K to one big like that, you're getting, that's the time you remember that at least Vuitton released one shirt like that you've always wanted and you can't get it. You now remember that you were supposed to go on this trip or to Dubai, pack all your savings, and you let's not forget about your parents, you have to feed, or let's say you're the firstborn like me, you now have to send money to your siblings, you guys do this, do that, responsibilities here and there, and you forget to save, even if it's 10% of your salary. So I've even gone far to forget to pay your tithes, but that's between you and your God. You forget to save, even if it's 10, 20, 30% of your salary for rainy days. Sometimes you don't even have to save for rainy days. You just have to save, because saving helps you for a future, for immediate. If you don't know tomorrow, nobody knows what happens tomorrow. So you need to have enough resources that will help you out if the day indeed becomes very rainy. So what do? You don't just pack all your salary, put your eggs in one basket and just spend. Learn to save. Don't have these spending habits. Please. I learned it the hard way, trust me. Because I had money. The gap between when I have money and when I'm broke is so fast that I can't understand it. Like, till tomorrow. Okay, let's remove the fact that part of it is because the Nigerian, currencies. You know the word, fill in the blanks, but you understand what I'm talking about. It's just crazy, man. I would have, at the beginning of the month, I'll have monthly allowance. By second week, I'm already crying that I'm broke. What's happening? What is happening? It's just crazy. But please try and save. I decided I was going to open a savings account, and I went to the bank, collected the form. I've not gone to go and submit that form and submit all the requirements, but I will. I'm telling you, I will. I promise I will. Trust me, I will. I will do that this week after this conference or program that I have and stuff like that. I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to carry it out. But I'm just advising you, please save it. It's very important that you don't put all your eggs in one basket and just double dollars and just keep spending and spending up and down. No, it's not good for you. Now, another habit you need to examine. We've talked about your we've talked about your sleeping, waking up, and money spending, eating habits, right? Another thing I forgot to mention in eating habits is try and watch what you eat. Sugary things, it's more like I'm advising people. It's not because I'm telling you to lose weight or anything. No, if you're comfortable with your skin, fine. But what I'm saying is watch what you eat, because your health is very important. A sound mind is, things acts better than an unsound mind. And the sound mind is the only mind that can bring forth creativity. It's the only mind that can bring dreams alive or achieve programs or, actualize PDP. So if you're sick or you're ill because of what you eat, where you eat, how you eat, you're affecting your life as a young professional, as an individual. In self-development, personal development is very important for you. So these habits are things you need to, some of the things you need to consider. Now, I'm going to divert a little from habits and talk about what you need to do as a young professional. How should you be? Like, I'm not trying to give you a guideline, but yeah, a guideline basically of what a young professional should look like. You should always be prim and proper, always dressed properly at all times, even if you're going to go and buy food outside. That's why you go and wear a bada to go and buy food, but please dress well. You are trying to create a reputation, an image for yourself that the world will see. Except you just want to be this introvert that you just indoors, you don't want the world to hear about you. But if you're working out your stuff for the world to hear your voice one day, the world will ask you for the records. You're saying you are a public speaker, you're saying you're a young professional that has achieved a lot of things, you're saying that you are part of the 6% of the people in the world that deserve recognition or deserve to be on Forbes 40 under 40 or recognized by, as a world champion in something around that area, and yet you don't have records to show for it. What was your lifestyle what was your success story? What were you doing when you were working to get these things? What exactly were you engaging in? How did people perceive you? My mom used to tell me that most guys, when they want to get married, they go to the locality where they believe the girl grew up. Some of them even go to their school, the university she went to, and ask about the lady. Ask, oh, this lady that I want to get married, I want to know, how is she? Is she rude? Is she kind? Is she this? That's exactly how it is. People would ask about you. People want to know, is this person a good person? Is she not a good person? Is she a bad person? Is she not a bad person? What is her attitude like? People would, once, oh God, it's crazy. Once you get to the top, people want to know how you got there. It doesn't matter whether, people will always say the end justify the means. Please, as a young professional, your end does not justify your means. I'm telling you, people will go and look for the records of how you got there. How did you become the world #1 arbitrator? What were you engaging in? I remember when one of my mentors in arbitration is Miss Funke Adekoya. She's a renowned arbitrator in Africa and beyond, and she used to be a partner at Alex Partners. And I always used to follow her up, see what she does. Turns out that she has been an active advocate, for arbitration, and for her to get there, she started from somewhere. People would always go back to see where you started from. So those lifestyles you were living before or immediately after you were called to bar, or after you were given your certificate, to stay living anyhow, thinking that nobody's watching. The world is watching you. And like we said in our classroom, the last video when we talked about social media etiquette, you're leaving digital footprints, and this digital footprint will talk about you tomorrow. So be mindful of the digital footprint you're leaving, the things you're doing. Always be dressed, always speak properly, always address people properly, always socialize properly, network properly, do things prim and proper. I'm not saying you should be uptight. Have fun, yes, please. Do ensure to have fun if you can, but at the same time, do not jeopardize your future or your success with a minute of fling or a minute of this desire that you want to achieve or something like that, simply because this is what it is or that is what it is. Please, you need to try and do yourself a favor and do good. As a young professional, check your life for habits that you think, that you believe shouldn't be there. We know a little conscience in our heart tells us that this thing we're doing is wrong. And habits don't, habits die hard, like they say. You don't just wake up one day and the habits are gone and you say, oh my God, yes, I'm a renewed professional, and so I don't want all these habits. These habits are no longer there. No, it takes time. It takes time. The same way success takes time, you have to have all these PDPs and stuff like that. That's the same way habits take time. But let me tell you the secret to what I do, right? I was trying to stop drinking soft drinks for about a year. So I told myself the whole of June, July, I was going to take soft drink. Yesterday was the first time I took soft drink. I believe, yesterday was the first time in about 2 months. I did it. So I can control myself and decide I don't want to take. Before, if you see me on soft drink, like any meal I had, I always had soft drink to push it down, basically. And it was just not good for me. I mean, diabetes as well was not just good for me. But I said somehow, each time I was craving soft drink, I'll get fruit juice. And so it inspired my love for smoothies. Any fruit I see, watermelon, banana, mango, I would just blend it and drink it because it still had that sugary taste, it still had that sweetness in it, but it was not carbonated. It was fresh squeezed juice that I did myself. It was super healthy, and it's part of, you know, this skin glow that you're seeing. But back to the issue, you need to practice. Start somewhere. Start with a day. Have an accountability coach. I always emphasize it. Have an accountability coach. And now that we're on it, if you want me to be your accountability coach, I can. So just hit me up via email, victoriamold@gmail.com, and tell me. We'll talk, we'll exchange numbers, and I would help you, walk you through what is the goal you want to set. Did you do it today? And you need to be honest with yourself. I'm not there with you. It's more like a virtual accountability coach. So you can tell me, I didn't take stuff to drink today, and meanwhile you took 2 cans of Pepsi. You're deceiving yourself, so you won't see results. Just work hard on it, and always put something at the end to reward yourself so that it motivates you. I told myself that if I don't drink soft drinks for a whole year, I was going to get myself a new phone. Get myself a new phone for achieving that thing, because I need a new phone for my videos and stuff like that. Well, what I'm saying is, have an accountability coach, even if it's a friend, your parents, and stuff like that. Have someone that will always check up on what you're taking, how you're doing it, what you're doing, and stuff like that. So guys, I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two from this video, and don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share this video, invite your friends to subscribe to Personal Development with Victoria, and stay tuned for more exciting content, because I'm bringing more exciting content your way. You are perfect, you're unique, you are amazing. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Put in those efforts, and your success story will become one that the world has not heard before. So let's do this together, and I'll see you guys next time on our next video. Bye guys.